3, 2, 1. We are live.
We are live. Hey guys, it's Ron Bass with another edition of the Ron Bass Show. It's
We
your
are
source for inspiration, encouragement, motivation, dry humor. Mr. Brent Atterbury.
Howdy doody, sir.
Howdy doody, sir. Remember the show Howdy Doody on television?
A long time ago.
The Howdy Doody Show. I think it was a puppet.
I think so.
Yeah. Those days are all gone. Now you've got like animation and the technology is so different now. It's crazy, isn't it?
Yes.
But guys, we're going to have some stories to tell you today. Some examples of.
I love stories.
You like stories?
Yeah, love them.
I like to use stories to use as an example of what you can accomplish or what you can overcome. So last week we were here talking about, I think I'd mentioned I was getting ready to go to the doctor's office to have a consultation on my knees because I have arthritis in my knees. Well, in my case, it's a little bit more complicated because I'm an athlete, work out every day. I'm in martial arts. I still do competition. I train every day. So it's not like the average old guy, that's just having a hard time getting around. In my case, the goal is to be able to manage the circumstances, manage the disease, and be able to still maintain my active lifestyle and even move forward and be more active. So I go into the doctor's office, and this guy, he's super cool. They took x-rays, and he said, "Man, you must have a really high pain tolerance." He says, "Because you're bone on both knees." And I said, "I kind of knew that. I figured that." And he said, "How's it going, this and that?" And, "Hey, man, what do you suggest I do? Because I know there's different protocols." And he says, "Well, I've got a bum knee." And he said, I'm going to do everything I can, even though I'm a surgeon, not to cut on my knee. So he said, my suggestion is, to start with injections, which I've had one in the past, only one time in one knee. And he said, let's take it every 90 days and let's review and let's just see how you do. He said, at the end of the day, if they don't work and we try different injections, because there's different kinds, then, we'll consider, if you want to consider surgery, we'll do that. But it's up to you, Ron. I thought that was pretty cool. He wasn't like beating me over the head.
Yeah.
Hey, we're going to do this, and if you don't like that, have a nice day. So the bottom line is, the nurse came in, and she was a martial arts gal. We were talking. She did taekwondo, and she said, I'm going to be stabbing you. I'm going to be injecting you. And I said, I understand. And it's not the most pleasant experience because it's a pretty long needle, and they go right in the side of the knee. But it's tolerable, It's not like the end of the world. And so here I'm a week later, and cortisone shots are temporary. They don't last forever. If you're lucky, you might get 2 months, 3 months, maybe 4 months out of it. Then you can go back in and have another injection. They don't like to give you more than like one every 3 months.
That's still pretty good, I think.
Still pretty good. And in my thinking, it's like, hey, you know what? If I can have a better quality of life, even if it's just temporary, it's still powerful. And then always waiting at the end of the game is the opportunity to have surgery, which is the only way to completely solve the problem by putting in an artificial knee. So it's from my perspective, and I'm saying all this to get to the point of making a point, that if you are struggling with an issue, and I've had this problem now for years, and I'm thinking to myself, why did I wait so long to go in and get and have like a real strategy? Because why go through all this pain every day just to prove a point like, oh, hey, I'm a tough guy, I can handle the pain? That's ridiculous.
It's fear.
And it's so intimidating because you're always aware of it and alert of it. And you're alerted about it every day because you get the pain. And so it stops you from doing a lot of things you love to do, which in my case is working out and doing martial arts.
Fear of the unknown.
Fear of the unknown. So I say all that to say this again. Look, if you've got something going on and you're not happy about it, I don't care what it is. Like in my case, the knees, hit it head on. I tell my friends this all the time. Don't hesitate. I hesitated too long. I should have done this 3 or 4 years ago. And another good thing about what happened was I noticed the very next day when I waited 24 hours. Supposed to wait before you exercise or do anything. So I waited 24 hours. I didn't want to do that, but I did. And then I started training again, and man, you talk about a difference. Like the confidence that it gave me to engage in the sport, it's just crazy how much difference it's made. It's not perfect, but it's probably about 90% improvement in terms of pain.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. So I say to myself, I'm not going to screw around this time. In 90 days, I'll go back in there. And he's really cool. He's like, hey, when you get ready, you just call me. And you come right in. There's no hesitation. There's no waiting, which I'm surprised because usually in a doctor's location or doctor's scenario,
months.
You got to wait and wait and wait. Yeah. I don't really understand why that's the case, but I'm happy that's the case. And I'm sure he sees this every day, day in and day out.
Yeah.
So to him, it's not a big deal. But to me, obviously, to you, when you're going through a struggle, obviously it's a big deal to you. But the people around you are going to be like, it's like it's ho-hum. Like, have you ever noticed when you've got something really crazy going on that's you're not happy about, and you're like, oh my God, this is so terrible, and people around you are like just going on about their life.
Yeah.
A few people are like, hey, I'm really sorry. I hope you could feel better. But most people, it's like, you know what? You're just like a piece of sand on a beach, like hardly even noticed, right? But to you, it's a big deal. So what I'm getting at is, guys, got something in your life you don't like, man, find a strategy. I don't care what you have to do. Find a strategy to solve the problem. It could be business, it could be health, it could be your sport goals, it could be schooling, it could be relationships, it could be mental illness, it could be addiction. Speaking of addiction, oh my goodness. Every time I turn around, there's an addiction story. And I saw on Facebook yesterday an old friend of mine from 20 years ago. This gal's about 50 now. And I knew she was going down the wrong path, but here she's in the hospital, been there for like 10 days, very sick, heart's hardly working. It's obviously from the meth addiction, and now they're just going to send her home. So what does that mean? Is she dying? Is she ever going to get better? Is she going to be able to beat the addiction? I don't see it ending well. I mean, I hope she gets off of the drugs. I hope she gets better. But when you're 50 and you've had a lifetime of abuse, man, it ain't good. And another friend of mine, 56, 57, his heart's working like 40%. He's always sick, no energy, in and out of the hospital. At 56, 50 years old, guys, you're supposed to be on top of your game. You're supposed to be like rocking and rolling and doing your thing. But you can't abuse yourself and expect positive things to come out of it, man. It ain't going to happen. A lot of my students, same thing. They're smoking pot, they're vaping, they're smoking cigarettes, and it's like, and they think it's funny. Like last night, one of my students, he's, I'm going to be a world champion. I said, look, man, you can't get there smoking pot every day, vaping every day, overeating. I love this guy. He's my friend. But he's obviously 50 pounds, 60, 80 pounds overweight, smoking pot every day. And he's 25, 26, 27. So they don't see it at that age. They don't understand what's happening because they don't feel it yet. But they will.
Mm-hmm.
Killed my brother at 49 years old, meth and cocaine and that whole world. So I'm not trying to be negative, guys. I'm just going down this path of discussion about addiction and not hitting these problems head on. Because if you don't, you're going to pay a big price. You're going to pay a big price. On a different subject, today I'm at the bank, and one of my friends who's a teller there, I said, how you doing, man? She says, oh, I'm really tired. I'm really sleepy. She said, how are you doing? She said, you're going to go work out today? I said, every day. She goes, and she's like really sleepy. And I said, you know what? Here's the key, man. The key, the secret, the real secret, you ready? Is influence. Who are you spending time with? If you're hanging out with lazy people and doing bad things, what do you think is going to happen? It's not rocket science, man. And people, you guys, we fall into these traps of where we think it's going to be okay. No, it isn't going to be okay because we're poorly influenced. Hang out with people that are ambitious, honest, sober, progressive, dedicated to good health. Another friend of mine, he's trying, but he's 400 pounds. And he's working out again every day. They told him he has 4 strokes. He's 47 years old. I've been talking to him for years, and he didn't heed his own advice, right? But now he's had 4 mini strokes, And the doctors told him the other day, hey man, if you don't lose the weight and you don't start working out, you're probably going to have a real stroke. I mean, like a big stroke. And we were talking last night. He says, dying's one thing, but being disabled the rest of my life, that's 10 times worse. Can't move, can't talk, can't be independent. Wow. Look, you can do everything right and still have bad health. I'm not saying everything I talk about is like the perfect formula, but let's break it down this way. It's a good insurance policy. If you don't do drugs, you don't smoke, you don't drink, you eat right, you rest well, you work out every day. That's just 5 things, man. I'm not asking you guys to go out here and write a novel or spend the next 10 years going to school. I'm just saying do some basic, things every day. Follow some basic rules. And even if you don't live to be old, at least while you are living, you will have energy and you will feel good and you will look good and you will be more ambitious and people around you will be influenced in a positive way. Look how many people you're going to help if you do all the right things. Think how many people you're going to hurt. I'm watching one of my coaches last night. He's got a 14-year-old nephew, and he's walking outside with him to smoke pot. And I wanted to ask him, is your nephew smoking pot with you? I didn't say it, but I thought about it. It's none of my business. But I'm thinking to myself, that kid's going to be a pot smoker. He's 14. He's being influenced. You can't do that, man. You have to set the right example.
Yeah.
Geez, I'm sorry to get on a preaching kick here, guys, but I just see too much, and it upsets me to think that all these things are reversible. These things don't have to happen. All these people that are sick don't have to be sick. It's not like they got cancer and they didn't know how they got it. That's going to happen. Cancer when you get old, heart disease when you get old, joint disease when you get old, like I have. That's just a part of aging. But there's some things you can absolutely avoid if you just use some common sense. My friends say, oh, but you drink coffee, that's caffeine. Well, that's a mild drug by comparison to, I'd much rather drink coffee or smoke cigarettes. Yes, it's kind of an upper, but it's not like you can't. You could kick this addiction easily by comparison.
I don't think there's a lot of stories and articles out there that talk about how coffee made someone die or coffee made them. I mean, you hear about the marijuana, you hear about the vaping, you hear about smoking, what it does to your body, but you don't really hear about the coffee and the caffeine.
Sugar's not good. Too much sugar's not good, but
I think it's classified as a drug. Yeah, that's a good
carbohydrates.
That's
maybe
a good,
if you eat too many.
Yeah, that's a good salt. Can increase your blood pressure.
Yes.
So I think some of these things are not the best for you, but they don't cause your body so much harm that it could cause possible death or organ failure and shut down. So yeah.
Guys, there's so many different things in life that can screw you up. I mean, just walking outside and somebody can run into you, like physically run into you in a car or motorcycle. You read about it all the time on these terrorism episodes, or it could just be an accident. You don't know what's coming your way, but at least you have control over a lot of things in your life. At least exercise that control, guys, in a good way, and don't worry about the stuff you can't control. That's going to happen anyway. I hear people complain every day. Oh, I can't believe this happened. I can't believe that happened. It's a horrible thing when tragedy strikes, but you don't have control over that, man. You don't have control over bad things sometimes. But you do have control over how you live your life, how you conduct yourself, how you process, how you react to circumstances. Look, I've been through the ups and downs with the relationships and the love and the being disappointed and being hurt. I get all that. Relationships are tough. You find somebody, you fall in love, you get hurt, you're disappointed, frustrated. I get all that, but you cannot let that ruin your life. You have to find a way to move forward, set your goals, work your butt off every single day to accomplish goals. Accomplishment's the best drug. We talk about it all the time. There is nothing better than the feeling of accomplishment. I don't care if it's a little accomplishment or a big accomplishment. accomplishment is powerful. Set a goal to overcome whatever it is that's bothering you and work your ass off every day to make that goal become a reality. And when you reach that goal, you're going to feel like you just won the lottery. I promise you. And then set another goal. It's not complicated, guys. Keep things simple. Work hard. Be consistent. Hang out with really good people like Brent. And, hang in there, man. Just don't give up. Any breaking news, sir?
Well, you know how you talk. First, I wanted to ask you a question.
Yes.
So you had an injection in your knee a year or two ago.
A couple years ago.
How does that compare to this injection? Is it the same, similar?
No, the results this time are much better, and I think
Why?
I think a couple of things. One, my attitude's better. My determination.
You had a bad attitude 2 years ago.
I did. My determination to manage this adversity is much better.
Yeah.
Number two, I like my doctor a lot more than my former doctor. He's given me some confidence because I have a protocol now. We have we're not just going to hit it and go. We're going to have like a long-term protocol. Mm-hmm. We're going to solve it, whatever that means. Number two, for 2 years now I've been doing the exercise on the Stairmaster, which I studied before I started, because it's very helpful to strengthen the thigh and the calves, which puts less pressure on the knee. So I've been doing a lot of my own rehab on top of the fact that I'm now getting cortisone shots, and I think it's the combination that's made it so much better. I can't even tell you how much better.
Yeah.
So going forward, I mean, I may hit a bump in the road like in a couple weeks or a month, and it may be like, oh, what happened? But I'll just go back in and I'll wait my turn and I'll get another shot, and then we'll talk about it again. He may try a different injection. There's new injections that came out in the last couple of years, last 4 or 5 years, that weren't available when I first started dealing with knee pain, that are supposedly even better than what I just got. But in the end, surgery is still a viable option, and if you can have the surgery and get your life back, so to speak, hey, have the surgery, man. So what? You got some downside. There's going to be some downside, but it's going to be temporary.
Is WD-40 one of the options?
I read an article about WD-40. Do you know where that came from?
No.
It's a fascinating story with some engineers or scientists that were working on something to do with rocket ships. This is crazy. I think the government actually funded this organization to come up with a way to, had something to do with the temperature and the way that the environment affected the rocket ship in certain conditions, something. And out of all those, so they came up with this, they wound up with this formula. And I guess when they solved it, they came up with a new way to utilize it. And that was, I think 40 different tries of trying to come up with a solution. I don't remember what WD stood for, but isn't that crazy? And it's a lubricant, right?
Yeah.
So I think there was some kind of a lubrication issue with the something with the rocket ships.
When your door squeaks, you just squirt some WD-40.
It's crazy, isn't it? So you can squirt the knee.
Yeah.
Same idea with the lubrication. It's the lubrication. It's what it really does. What cortisone shots really do, it eliminates the inflammation.
Oh.
What inflammation, when the body senses that, the body thinks that there's something wrong, so it creates inflammation, which irritates the nerves. That's where the pain comes from.
Yeah.
And what the cortisone shot does, it eliminates the inflammation. That's why when you can take like a leave or something like that, it's kind of a good thing for arthritis. But it's a much smaller result, of course, than the shots.
Yeah.
But it does help.
Awesome.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah, you know how you talk about, don't waste money on frivolous things. Don't overspend on things you really don't need to be spending on.
Right.
Well, there was an auction here recently, and the world's most expensive cheese sold for $42,232.
Come on, man.
It was a restaurant that bought it, and it's kind of green when looking at the picture here.
That's just crazy,
man. But it said it was cheese that came from milk from a cow. It was aged in a cave for 10 months at 5,000 feet above sea level, I believe in Spain. so I don't know why it tastes so good or how they decided it was so yummy. Or I know bats live in a cave, and I don't know if they protected it from getting things on the cheese. I don't really know why it tastes so different than other cheese aged for 10 months. I
suspect it really doesn't, but
it was just aged 10 months in a cave with maybe bats flying around.
$40,000. Come on, man.
But yeah, it just happened. It's a new Guinness World Record. It's the most expensive cheese ever sold. Period.
Okay, that's
just thought I'd tell you that.
That's super cheesy.
Super cheesy. Yeah. And today, if you have dimples, it's National Dimples Day.
Oh my God.
Celebrate your dimples. Be
so
happy.
A dimple supposed to be like a beauty mark? Was that what it's?
No, usually they're right here. Sometimes they're on the small of your back. But
does it represent dimples, like some kind of aesthetic appeal? Like it's supposed to be attractive? Is that the gig?
I don't know. But celebrate it if you have it.
Okay.
And for the people that love cookies, it's National Sugar Cookie Day.
Ooh, I love sugar cookies.
So there you go.
I used to buy sugar cookie dough.
Oh, wow.
And eat it.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Without making the cookie.
Without making the cookie.
You didn't even want to wait.
They actually sell it that way now.
Yeah.
You can go to the store and buy sugar cookie dough and eat it like as a dessert.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I used to make sugar cookie dough when I was a kid. Like, I think I'd put shortening and sugar, and I can't remember. We'd stir it all up and make the dough. My mother used to get mad at me.
Yeah.
Man, those are the days when you're a kid and you're hanging out in the kitchen in summer, not going to school, and you're just doing stuff around the house, getting in trouble for it.
Yeah.
Life's short, man. When you're a kid, you don't realize. When you're old, you realize, man, it's gone. It's gone.
Uh-huh.
It's like, wow. Then all of a sudden, you're a grandfather, and you're a great grandfather, and it's just really crazy.
Yep.
So that's the breaking news.
Yes, sir.
You're done with that.
Yep.
Let's see what else I got here.
Oh, you're gonna
might have some more
change up the flow.
I might have some more stuff.
Might need to save it for next week.
So here's another story about bad health and how you could avoid it and how there's maybe a silver lining. So I'm at the store the other day, Dollar General store, Dollar Tree store, whatever. I think it was Dollar Tree store, and the lady at the counter was talking about it's hot, it's humid, and she's having breathing trouble. And she was telling me, she said, I've got COPD, and I said, well, you look fine. She says, well, I wasn't fine, but I'm a little better now. But she said I smoked for like 30 years and now I have COPD, but I'm 8 years smoke-free.
Good for her.
And I said to myself, good for you, man. And but but it's another example of she has to wear oxygen. Not all the time now, but man, there's just no benefit from smoking. I'm sorry. It's just a horrible, horrible habit. If you're smoking, try to find a way to quit smoking. The best way to do it is the way I did it. Just struggle for a couple of months or 6 months or a year and just go through it, man. It ain't going to be easy, but you're not going to die. You think you're going to die because it's so uncomfortable, but you'll wake up one day and go, man, my urge to smoke is not what it used to be. And I started running. I started drinking coffee. I told you all that. Find something to take the place of, like, every time you want to smoke, drink a cup of coffee. Every time you want to smoke, run. Go to the gym. Eat something. Hell, I'd rather be fat as I would to be drinking or smoking. Now, because you can lose the weight a lot easier than you can lose the cigarettes. However, man, food addiction is just as bad as anything else. And it's just as tough to quit as anything. Mm-hmm. I used to think, you can quit. No, it's tough. If you get into that habit, man, it's going to be really difficult to quit. You can take drugs, but you're going to gain the weight right back usually from everything that I've studied, unfortunately. Plus, there's a lot of other bad side effects taking Ozempic and those drugs. So I don't think there's just no easy way, guys. You could have stomach reduction, and my friends that have done that have gained the weight back. I think it just all comes down to discipline, struggle. What'll really help you more than anything, guys, is hanging around people that you can sink your teeth into, that you can count on to encourage you. You have to have mentorship. You need to be around people that when you get down, you can call or go see and talk to that will lift you back up. It's just the way it is. I didn't invent all this. I understand it, and I can talk about it because I'm the guy that's lived through all of this. continues to live through all of this and understands the benefits of all of this.
Good job.
Yeah, thank you. Am I done? I think I might have one more story. So Ann Wilson, who's part of what's the group?
Heart.
She stuttered when she was a kid.
Really?
Yeah. So I think to overcome the stuttering, she sang, and of course the rest.
Wow.
The rest of the story is that she's got a phenomenal voice, right, and that she has gone on to great stardom. However, now she is struggling with a health issue. Let me think what it is. Can't remember, but she's got some issues now.
Mm-hmm.
She's not a young person, but she's gained a lot of weight. I don't know if that's like a result of the health issue or if that's just like an addiction or maybe, when you're a kid and you stutter, think about it, guys. If you've got a stuttering problem, I don't know what the solution is. I'm sure there's protocol. I'm sure there's a way to work through it or try to work through it or improve it. That's a subject we ought to dig into someday, because I bet stuttering is a bigger problem than we think. And
Probably.
and plus it's going to really script your self-image, right? You're going to feel like you're an oddball, you don't fit in. Hell, I don't fit in a lot of places. I've been thinking about that lately too. It's like when you're straight like I am and you're this ambitious, you really don't fit in very well. Like I'm working out with these 20-year-olds last night and I'm thinking, I'm a relic to these guys, but you know what? Now that my knees are better, I gave them hell last night, man. They found out real quick the old man wasn't going to be easy to deal with. They had a hard time with me, so I was happy about that.
Yeah.
And it was good for them.
Yeah.
Because they realized, hey, you know what? When they get old, maybe there's a chance for them too, not to just fade out, but to continue to be active and healthy and ambitious and fit in and stay active, for a long time. Okay, any closing thoughts, sir? Any closing comments? Any words of wisdom?
Buddy, you said it all.
Dang.
I just know that, I'm glad you're here doing this.
Thank you.
This is a good thing.
Thank you.
Good thing. Yeah, there's not a lot of people that put the time and energy and effort into it and are doing it to help other people, period.
Yep.
No thought of monetary gain or anything like that.
Brent and I have talked a lot about, we could do a different kind of podcast. We could have a lot bigger audience. We could monetize it. We could, become like an interviewing podcast, which is an entertainment podcast, which is where more people are going to be interested to watch and listen. But that's not the goal. The goal is to be able to hopefully influence at least a few people in a positive way, in a way that's going to help them turn their life around or give them some hope. That's what we're all about.
I would like to hear stories of any of the viewers that have had some wins and successes.
Yes.
Of turning things around. It could be health, it could be relationship, it could be education, it could be anything.
Anything. Well, guys, just remember, if you don't give up, eventually those stars are going to line up. I don't know when. I can't predict that. I can only tell you that if you follow the rules, sooner or later, eventually, things are going to get better. I don't know how quick, I don't know how fast, I don't know how much. I just know you're going to have progress if you follow the rules and you don't give up. So just hang in there, man. I could write a book about not giving up. Just stay the course. And sooner or later, you're going to find that your life's going to get better. And just be patient and hang out with some good people. So until that time comes, and even after that time comes, just remember, always stay positive.